Hey guys, Jay here. In this video I'll be going over what I've been doing with my character with upgrades and how I've been progressing my atlas and what content I've been doing. First things first, upgrades. If you watched it during my DPS video showcase, the DPS ramp was kinda slow. The hit rate was slow, which is due to no upgrades, but I'm going to show you what I would upgrade first before reaching these bosses anyway. To fix this, the activation rate of Penance needs to be higher. I first looked at haste, and now I can somewhat put it permanently on my build while also having Val haste available. We can do this by buying a corpse known as Dark Marionette or finding it from Ritual. This corpse allows us to have an almost permanent aura added to the build without much cost. We're of course using Ray Spectre to be able to summon this corpse on top of Guardian's Blessing to activate this aura. It's similar to Divine Blessing, which was previously available in the past leagues, but GGG has since removed this gem from the game. Guardian's Blessing allows us to turn on our haste, but in turn sacrifices life over time from the Spectre. But this is where the Marionette comes in handy. Once a Spectre dies, after a few seconds a Spectre respawns, allowing us to have a somewhat permanent aura. In some conditions you can get the Spectre to sync with each other, where one dies and the other one is still alive. But while I've been using this gem and Spectre, it's somewhat kind of hard to achieve since they can die from other sources such as monsters. So we want to make them a bit tankier due to this. We use Meat Shield, allowing them to take less damage, but they also stick close to you. Being close to you, they're kind of a bit less likely to get hit. As for the next upgrade, on top of the haste, which is helping us increase our activation rate, I wanted a way to generate some frenzies. We do this by looking for a timeless jewel called the Elegant Hubris. We select this in at the top of which this spot is the least compromising to the build. We only lose a bit of HP and a power charge if you take that. To find this jewel I will show you how. First you want to go to Path Building and select the jewel socket we wanted in, i.e. the witch node at the top. Select these three notables, the life, the mana and the power charge, because these are the least amount of passives that need to be taken here. Now at the bottom of the Path Building, click Find Timeless Jewel. This is a tool that will help us find the notables we want, which will get replaced by the Elegant Hubris. Now at the top of this box, select Jewel Type, then Elegant Hubris. And below this, select Jewel Socket and select the jewel socket that we're in. Select Filter Nodes. Then in this drop down box, search Frenzy and select Frenzy Charge on hit. This is how we would generate our Frenzy Charges, but we won't stop here because the notables we select on the tree, we at least want it on the mana node to allow us to be able to have the mana reservation mastery. For taking these three notables, I chose to go further and look for Power Charge and crits. But you can also look for many other notables, but I will go for Power Charge and crits because it allows us to save 4 points from a cluster jewel, which we bought when we swapped to Penance brand. Other notables changes are as such: aura effect, crit multi, crit chance, spell damage, physical damage, cast speed, damage per frenzy, power and endurance charge, though the last three kinda bad. If you want in the selection here, you can select Caspiro, which will only search for jewels with this keystone. This keystone allows you to ignore inherent attribute bonuses, though this will result in less HP and energy shield, since you lose life from strength and ES from int. But it does allow you to go max tattoo on your build, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Right, the next upgrade. I wanted to remove the Convert Support gem and use Conk Effect Support, and change my impulses to a defensive body armor. First I look for gloves on trade as follows. First we select life. We want a minimum of 71 life because this is higher than crafted life, so it will only search for non-crafted HP. Next we select this pseudo resistance mode. This allows us to search for items with the highest resistance. And lastly we filter these prefix. Prefix modifier, prefix crafted and empty prefixes. We put a maximum of 2 in the prefix modifier and a minimum of 1 in the empty and crafted. Then at the bottom we put in like a max budget of 20 to 30 chaos depending on how much you want to spend. And then just click search. From here just click this little grey text which says total resistance. This will show the highest resistance possible for each item. We want one with an open prefix. which with these prefix modifiers in the filter, to help us. And if there's only 2 resistances on the item, such as mine, then you can just look for other useful mods like life regen, dexterity, life regen rate. Then just buy any of these which is suited for your build. Now on these gloves we want crafted lightning convert. The role of the craft doesn't really matter, as on the tree at the top right, as you can see, I took the lightning node and the mastery, which gives me 40% convert. Then on the implicits we want leech and freeze. It doesn't matter really what the tier is as long as we have them both. Leech is allowing us to change our Zero Flask, which gets to my next upgrade for the build, an Explode Flask, or you can go for an Explode Body, but I prefer the Explode Flask because it gives a defensive option for the body armor. You can also go for Explode on weapons, which is much better than Explode Flask since it's permanent uptime, and we still get to go defensive body. And we have an open flask slot for Bottled Faith, or you can keep the Zero's Promise. But in this case, and in this league, since it's cheap, I went with the Explode Flask anyway. The roll doesn't matter too much on the Explode Flask, but you want as high as possible explode chance. Once we've established our new source of clear, in my case, and at the state of the league, as I said, I chose the Explode Flask because it was cheap, but Explode Weapon might be a better choice on League Start because it could be the same price. We can start looking at how to craft the new body armor. First, I'll look for some of these fractured modifiers, such as T2 plus of any of these mods, Chaos Res, Life Regen, Flat Armor ES, Increase Armor ES, and a T3 plus of Maximum Life and Physical Damage Reduction. Preferably out of all of these, I'd pick Life Regen, because ES Regen with RF turned on become a problem if you've removed Eldritch Battery and Mind Over Matter. Though you don't have to remove these right away, I personally remove them just for testing. I would keep them on if you want perma uptime on RF without any regen issues. Right, as for the body armor, you can go for Essence or Reforge here. For this body I chose Chaos Res Essence. This helps me go above 0 Chaos Res, keeping me at 30 Chaos Res. And here we look for similar mods as I listed above. Life, Increased Armor ES, Flat Armor ES, Life Regen, Chaos Res, Physical Damage Reduction. Alternatively to Chaos Essence, you can use Loathing Essence, which gives us Mana Reservation, or Horror Essence, which gives us crit damage reduction per endurance charge. On the implicit, we want physical damage taken as Elemental, and +1 all to maximum resistances. Maximum resistance is just a good defensive option. It's probably the best defensive option that you could have. And also reducing the degen from RF. Physical damage taken as just mitigate more physical damage. Now this upgrade is optional. You can do this at a later date due to Enlighten being expensive on League Start. Reserving Hatred. To do this we want to take a small cluster with 25% effect. We anoint Charisma. Take Reservation at the top right of the tree. And Enlighten 3. Allowing us to drop gold. The Brotherhood with Death Rush. This is specifically good for mapping. The Death Rush, that is. Doing this allows us to just fit Hatred in the build. Though you could save some points here by going Replica Dragon's Fang with Penance brand on it. Of course you would still anoint Charisma. You go with this amulet if your resistances are good. And the points saved are the ones at the top right next to a Chaos Inoculation. Now for how I progress my Atlas. At the start, I took around about 40% chance for connected maps, then moved to Kyrek chance nodes, taking advantage of him using the Chaos Algs and Chaos Orbs I found during Heist to buy maps from him. And after Kyrek, I took all the Druid nodes for early XP and crafts. This allows us to get our +1 craft on the helmet. Then after these, I instantly rushed the Influence map drop nodes to be able to complete the invitations from Elder, Shaper, Conqueror. After taking these nodes, I took the Maven Keystone at the top and started spamming T16s to spawn extra bosses to drop these maps more often. This allows us to complete invitations quickly, while also allowing us to do normal Shaper and Elder to drop the Uber Elder fragments for the Watchstone, without buying any of the fragments, on top of which we get in a bunch of Maven Writs for the Watchstone from there too. And the boss drops from Maven are pretty good too, so Pretty much after completing my atlas, I'm just gold farming. I want to get my King's March up and try and work for the next upgrades in the next coming days. I can make another video explaining this, but I don't see King's March really being in the next league, to be honest. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments and I'll try and answer them to my best of my ability. But thank you all for watching, all the comments, the likes, and I'll see you next time. Bye.